So I might have to speak loud. And you might hear some of that.
Maybe move it away from the. It may be the feedback from the microphone. Yeah. Try here.
Better?
Yeah, come hang out with us.
Well, everybody, it's 6 o'clock. After party. Welcome to AI Space Podcast, hosted by Stonehaas Advisory and VC Arena. I'm a founder and CEO of VC Arena and AI Connect. VC Arena, we're a community of founder and investor, family offices, and cool people like yourself. So we got a lot of members here. Who's the member of VC Arena? Raise your hand. Woo! Right? So we got a bunch of members here. Feel free to join us. Every 2 weeks we do a VC Fight Club where you get to talk to crazier people than me, like Jason.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But anyway, our mission and vision is to make Dallas the next Silicon Valley. And every one of you is a part of it. Because Silicon Valley is not making off building, right? It's making off people, great startup, great investor, working together to make something amazing happen. And I think some of us here are going to be the next unicorn. Texas is a great place for builder. But I don't think we know how to play the game as good as the people in the valley. The kids that are 20 years old in school can pitch a hell lot better than us. They know how to play the game. They know how to raise $10 million like that. Right? We are a great builder. We know how to build product. We build better product than they do, but we can't raise the money. That's the problem.
Yep.
That's why we wanted to solve this by creating this VC Arena where you get the chance to talk to a real investor. Jason Kim, look him up, Legendary Ventures. He run a $3 billion fund, and he's here locally with us at Dallas office every day. Right? You get to talk to people like that, you sharpen your knife. It's knife sharpening knife, right? Because you never get a chance to talk to people like that regularly, you know? And then when you do, you fail because you're never ready for it. People here are too nice in Texas. They never tell you the truth. Right? You ask like, hey, how my startup? You pitch to them. They're like, yeah, not my thing. But you never know why, right? Again, it's all about the truth, you know? Like Elon, you know? AI platform is Elon platform is the ultimate truth. That's what he wanted to build, right? You know, I think we all need to seek the truth. And from AI Connect standpoint, we're an AI consulting firm. That's what we build for the customer, right? Ultimate truth, AI engine, an AI factory that producing AI solutions, but something that they can trust. And I hope that you guys are all here, get to know each other. After this, we're gonna have more networking, and we have a lot of great sponsors that's supporting us, but it's never enough, right? The community can only be better and better when everybody helping each other and supporting each other. So if you have the space for us to host the next event, raise your hand. Next time, we wanted to keep changing. So next month, great, yeah. At least she already have a good place. We're already talking to my friend who have a great place at the Star. Amazing podcast studio. They have amazing athlete like Kevin Durant, Camel Anthony on their channel all the time. So we're looking at maybe hosting it there in March, and then April onward, we can turn around to other. But even that is still not enough. All this food and drink, we need some more help, right? Right now, Sanjay been putting a lot of money himself to support this, right? We need to support him too. So, and then we have amazing speaker here. So to get all these amazing speakers, we need to attract them. We're not paying them, but we need to attract them with good quality people. So your task is also helping us bringing more and more good quality people to this event so that we have a quality discussion among all of us. All right? Well, I think I wanted to kick off this event by honoring our sponsor today, Saupi, and our Carter DeLuca. But let me talk a little bit about Carter DeLuca because he's not here. Ned is my good friend. I don't know, have you guys know Carter DeLuca? They're like a law firm, but they really specialize in IP, trademark, and all that. Like a lot of the startup working with them to get trademark, IP, even AI Connects. My AI Connects logo, he's helping us to get the trademark for it, right? Great guy, very easy to work with, always supporting the startup founder. So and that's it. It's really about understanding, and being part of that community. And then again, Saupi, Antonio, you want to come up, my good friend?
Oh, you were wired. Okay.
My magic trick.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks. Nice to see you again. Thank you, Sanjay, for having me here. So my name is Antonio. I'm here representing Zalpa Digital. Zalpa Digital is a company from Brazil. We do a lot of work with many companies all over the world. We work with companies like BMW. We design, if you have a BMW, the My BMW app that turns on your car and all that, yeah, that was Zalpa Digital who did that. We work with ADP, many startups on the artificial intelligence area. And because it's in Brazil, it's cost savings opportunity there for you as well. So in addition to that, I'm also a professor at UT Dallas, and where I teach artificial intelligence in the business school. So if you want to talk more about AI as well, I'd be happy to talk to all of you. So thank you all again for the opportunity. We'll continue the partnerships for sure. And well, good luck and welcome everybody. Thank you.
All right. And mind the machine as well. So here to Tim.
Thanks, Dan. Here comes Tori as well. There she is. All right, well, I appreciate you guys all coming out. We wanted to partner with the AI's podcast, Space Podcast, to help drive community and help drive people here and talk about AI for the most part.
Yeah, we curate a space where people can come together to talk to other people about artificial intelligence. Like Dan said, we're trying to make a hub for AI here in Dallas. So we need all the curated spaces that we can have so that we can all talk to each other, grow together, and figure out how to figure out this crazy AI world that we're in.
You mentioned
Sanjay's going to talk.
MythWorks up there. I have to pick you up.
Yeah, MythWorks, yeah. MythWorks is a great organization. So Sanjay's going to be on our panel next Tuesday at UTD, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We're talking about next generation AGI models. It's going to be an interesting conversation. All right.
And then, Stefan, do you want to talk about Texas Advisory Services?
Texas
He's already got the
Advisory.
mic. So.
I have a mic.
Oh yeah, that's right. Good.
Texas Advisory Services. Most companies don't fail because of strategy. They fail because of execution. We help improve their execution. We scale companies. We raise productivity. We also help companies to relocate to Texas. Texas Advisory Services, who in the room works for with Texas Advisory Services? Kevin, Boris, Ben, Dobrina, Tim, Tom, quite some people. We are unique because we have different functions and different subject matter experts. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And my company, Stonehaas Advisors, where I do go-to-market strategy and execution. And the story before we kick off the podcast, a year ago, someone reached out to me about a podcast. And I said, I'm sure other people are trying to figure out this AI space. Why don't I invite founders, technologists, innovators who are actually building in the space? None of this hype, let's separate the signal from the noise. How do you actually build out and make some money in this space? So that's what we're trying to figure out is, their stories and how they're actually, the playbooks around that. So we're going to get this kicked off. Trent, you ready? All right. All right, everybody, welcome to the AI Space Podcast. AI is not just the future, it's the force rewriting the rules of business, wealth creation, and society. If you're an innovator, founder, technologist, this is the AI show for you. The question you have to ask yourself is, will I blaze a path, follow the crowd, or be left in the dust? We have an amazing episode. It's going to be actually live broadcast right now. And I have an amazing panel here. And before I actually get into the intros, the way we do on the AI Space Podcast, we have to show some value right away. So I'm going to ask you some questions. What do you see as the key trends in AI, Victor?
I think some of the key trends that we see in our arena is motorsports. And one thing that we're pushing at Longhorn International Motorsports is the integration of AI and biometrics to cut down on the risks to our drivers, to also help with the conditions of the cars. We can reduce stress and as we monitor the cars and the drivers itself. So AI is helping us do that before the drivers actually even get into the car. And in our world, you'll see it actually in regular cars, because anything that goes on the raceway eventually lands into the public sector. And so that's one of the things that over at LIMC that we're pushing It's more safety, more integration of AI. You already have it in your car. Anytime you say, hey, Google, or you say, hey, Siri, you know, whichever one you want to yell at, but which I do constantly, but that's what we see.
All right, and Emily?
Sure. I hate to echo, I'll say it just a little differently. I'd say it's about adoption. There's been a lot of testing in the past couple of years, and a lot of people still think, let's say education too, they still think AI is ChatGPT. I've been working in AI since 2014 as around the peripheral, and now I'm right in the middle of it, and it's definitely not just ChatGPT. We have to look at adoption, at governance. What are the rules and the standards to which we will start creating AI and continue to create AI? And we have to remember too that AI right now is still full of a lot of incorrect information, and so we cannot completely rely on it. We still need to have the human component of the design as well.
Thank you, Emily and Stefan.
My answer is very similar. It's a year of execution. Experiments we did last year, 2 years ago, need to execute. If you don't use AI today at your work, you have to start. Don't be left behind. The train is moving very fast. People who don't use AI will be left behind and will be challenged to pick up the speed later.
Thank you, Stefan. What I try to do is make sure that we have different perspectives on here. So, Victor, you know, you're a builder. Tell the folks what you're building out.
So what we're building is a 1,555-acre motorsport complex. A lot of people think that we're just racetracks, but actually we're building retail, commercial, residential, along with the tracks. And our number one goal is to build a testing and proven track for Formula, or for like car manufacturers like Lamborghini, Mercedes, Toyota, by integrating all our tracks to where we have a 2.9-mile off-road track. We have a quarter-mile drag strip, which can easily help us test stress on engines. We have the road course, which can actually help us with suspension, a lot of suspension and in the turns and everything like that. So we're building that out, and we're trying to make Dallas, well, no, we're not trying anymore. We're doing now. Execution, right? We are executing our plan this year as to bring the ultimate motorsport complex of the world to Dallas. We will be the largest motorsport complex in the world. The only one, and can I say this? We're the only one that's African American owned in the world. And so,
that's awesome.
But our goal is to show diversity in the building, is to bring jobs back to communities where they're out there building solar farms and putting up wind turbines, and we want to bring jobs back to that land down in north central Texas. We want to build something that we can employ over 1,500 people within our first year.
Thanks so much. And Emily, you know, you have your own company, you're CEO, but you're also CMO. So talk to us a bit as a builder, CMO, what you're doing in 2026.
I had someone introduce me to someone earlier and said, well, Emily's a CMO, but she's in everything else. That is true. My career has been focused around marketing, but I think most of us that have grown up in marketing have realized that we have to translate our vision, understand who the customer is, be able to help people build the right product for people. So my career pivoted into a lot technology focused when I joined Dell and became an innovation ambassador globally. I was in charge of our CX department there and helped grow that. Had some of the largest corporations in the world underneath our portfolio. So I learned a lot from them about growth and being able to adopt new emerging technologies inside a corporation that is still doing things the way it's always been done. So innovation has been a core of mine for many, many years. I was lucky to get in on the digital revolution very early and started out in social media for business. I had one of the first Facebook for business pages. That's kind of one of those claim to fames that a lot of people don't realize. I really am that old. I also had a beeper when I first started out. But technology is changing so quickly. I think we're coming back to a vision where a CMO is making a comeback, because what we've inherited in the past couple of years has been a mess, because founders have had a vision and they went very quickly to market and they were trying to save money, and that's all great, but you still have to be able to build it for someone. And so what I have done in the past couple of years is pick up a mess and try to make a puzzle piece out of it so people understand why it is that you should purchase a tool. So with that, I have to understand the architecture, I have to be able to talk to the technology teams, I need to be able to understand as a consumer what it is that you want from products here in the marketplace, and then also try to utilize technology that's changing by the daily basis. And all of us are out there trying to figure it out, right? I bridge the gap in between the marketing department and the technology department, but I've also I've built companies myself, so it pays to have that skill set, let's say that.
Right, thank you. And then Stefan, you come from a CFO perspective, and I'm sure multiple perspectives, but one thing I remember a post of yours, and this always resonated with me, is like, how do CFOs be more proactive versus reactive? So maybe from that perspective, talk about your 2026, what you're doing.
Sure. Emily is truly doing everything. Stefan Boehmer, CFO by trade. I was CFO for Siemens Logistics, for Körber Supply Chain here in North America. I realized pretty quickly that AI won't go away. I don't like to be driven, so I realized I have to get up to speed. I want to drive it. The typical CEO finance tasks will be replaced, according to World Economic Forum, 70% with AI. So how do we provide value? We provide value by understanding the technology, by fostering relationships, by keeping our creativity. Talking about AI, I'm still finance at heart. AI is a shiny toy. We don't implement shiny toys because it looks good. For me, it's a tool you use to achieve your process, KPIs, whatever is required. So I'm very strong on starting with a use case. What do you want to improve? KPIs, what do you want to achieve? And then you decide what tool, and AI is one of the tools.
Yeah, no, thank you. At the end of the day, if you're not making money, you're either burning your money or somebody else's money.
Right.
Right? And so I think one of the key things, people want to talk about technology, but a lot of people say, just dream it. I don't think that really works. It's good to have a dream, but you got to translate that dream or vision into strategy and execution. So, that's what you're doing now, Victor. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we're the typical American story. You have a guy that woke up one day and said, I want to build something. And it had started in my mind as a little bitty thing. And it started adding on, and it started adding on. And I want to talk about how AI actually helped me bring that dream to fruition, is the fact that I could go in and I could use different models, different tools to basically come down to that, to where I could talk to investors. I could do these kind of shows, even though I didn't know the terminology. I know what a V6, V8 and all those are, but I don't know what is this AI that we're doing. So, of course, me being 59 now, started with ChatGPT. That was a big help though, because it helped me kind of identify the story. It helped me do the research, but then all of a sudden I noticed there was other tools that I could use, like integrating AI with our LiDAR on the property, or even searching for property that would actually fit, because in racing we have to have the right topography, or you'll get a track that floods out all the time. A lot of people don't take in consideration the soil weight. And those are things that behind the scene as a CEO, I have to take in consideration. It's like soil weight. So AI helps me create those models. We have different models that I can run just straight from my house, and I can decide, okay, this is where this track is going to go, or I can't have this kind of weight, or I can't build on this because it'll sink down to the ground. One of the things that we did do was it helped us decide, Texas here gets hot, as we know. And racing for us, we have to start like at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you look at it from a CEO standpoint, it cuts down on our revenue when we have to race that late, because we have to deal with the moms and the kids. So by 10 o'clock, our concessions is gone, but they're still out there racing till 3 or 4 in the morning. So what we did was use an AI model to decide first of all, how can we cool the tracks down, at least to get us to run at least a few hours earlier. So we found a way, and we mixed it with some regular old school technology. But we ran that model, and then we were actually to go physical with it and find out, okay, if we ran copper tubes through the tracks, at least on the starting line, then we can actually cool the track down by 85% if we run nitrogen through the tube. That was something that came through a dream of mine, and then it turned into I went through AI and said, hey, can we really do this?
Yeah, I think we'll dive deeper into some of those aspects too.
He told me not to get geeky.
We're going to get into the geeky part, So, but how do you? So, how do you turn a dream, vision, to strategy to execution, Emily?
I always say, start something and start learning from it very quickly. They say fail fast, but there's a lot of risk that comes in that as well. So this is where the finance guys really like my answer, because I don't like to spend a lot of money when I start out doing things. I really do want to test in a small market. But what I do first is I want to learn, again, if I'm going to sell a product, are you my ICP? Are you going to be my perfect target audience? And if you're not, then I'm going to put you kind of in a folder over here, and I'm going to find what I call the low-hanging fruit. It's the person who is most likely, 90% likely, to be able to do business with my firm, with my idea and my vision in the first ask, which is impossible in marketing. It's never the first ask. Statistically saying, this marketers used to say it was like 8 touches before you were able to close a client. That is very out of date. I heard from someone from Expedia the other day say it was 127 touches. The fact that Expedia knows that blows my mind, because they have the right technology in the place to be able to see that you were able to click on an ad or then social media or something else. And it's really hard for a marketer to then be able to prove what was the lead generation touch that caused you to actually do business with us. So technology is complicated, the pool that we're in, but it's also enhanced it because we can utilize technology, like you said, to do deep research. We can help it, use it to be able to make assumptions that would have taken us months to be able to do the research, to be able to do that. So I've been working currently on a plan to go to market and get a startup from idea to launch within 8 to 12 weeks in an 80% reduction in cost. We can already do that because AI is allowing us to be able to do that. So if we actually put together what are the keys that's going to make a company look like they've been around for 20 years, and it's going to make you want to do business with us on first pass, that took 20 years of experience, though, for me to be able to do that, coupled with AI. So go-to-market strategy has gotten easier, but you still have to focus on the human being.
Thank you. And Stefan?
Risk reduction increases the value of your company.
Yes, it is.
A lot of startups, companies focus on quick sale into the market. The risk of failure is high. You can only upset your customer once before they turn away. So for me, test your product. Like Emily said, pilots, test markets, test internally, get rid of the bugs before you launch it. Secondly, when you use AI, understand the risk and mitigate the risk. Don't leave the back door. When your company gets valuated, PEs, revenue is not the criteria. It's EBITDA, it's margin, it's risk. How much risk do they buy? How predictable is the company?
So I'm going to ask you from a technology perspective, Stefan. We're going to get a little geeky here, but not too geeky, because we only have a little bit of time. So from a CFO perspective, what are the AI tools that you use to look under the hood, in a sense, right?
You start with the use cases. You look at your KPIs. Finance processes are very standardized. Every company has AR, AP, invoices coming in, invoices going out. Perfect example for automation. You develop your use case, you analyze your process, you set KPIs. There are various tools you can apply, but tools will be commodity. You can change tools, prices will drop over the next 5 years. Your process is relevant, your KPI is relevant. I talked with a company, they said they have 200 people, 20 people in collections, red flag. We don't need to do that anymore.
Oh, thank you. And then from a marketing perspective, how are you approaching from an AI tools perspective? Or
I actually looked it up after our talk the other day. I used to use statistics, years ago, just about all of the marketing tools, technology tools that were out there, and we were up to like 50,000. Have you all seen that grid? It's really small, but all it is tiny little logos of all the different tech companies who think that they do something in marketing. Well, now the AI-driven companies, there's over 700 of them that market themselves as a marketing AI tool. That's
and
not
they're all
just
reaching out to, and they're all reaching out to me every day on LinkedIn.
But are they really different? Are they really different? What is their value proposition? A lot of them there was a CEO who had an MSP who decided he wanted to create something, or he had an idea, and he had enough money that he could put a couple of developers towards it and then put a few marketing dollars towards it. But there was really no market fit because the market is already saturated. The idea now is that we have to differentiate ourselves. You can't just spin up an AI tool and think that everybody in the world is going to buy it. It has to be focused on what it's going to solve for you. And I know that we echoed this as a topic of conversation that was in the last live episode. I just wanted to reflect that technology is changing very, very quickly. Technology is not being adopted quickly, which means that there will be a lot of companies that will fail in the next couple of years.
All right. So I know there's a lot of components to your racetrack, everything. Let's just talk about the vehicle, right?
Okay.
So from an architecture's standpoint, technology standpoint, what are you loading up into that vehicle to get all those biometrics, to get all the readings? They're making turns, torque. I'm sure you're measuring torque and all this.
Yeah, one of the things we can't discuss is the tool that we use because our environment is so competitive. So I can't tell you what tools
That's
we
okay.
use as far as
Wants
that.
to keep it for himself.
Yeah.
You keep all his toys.
Yeah, I have an attorney that has told me to cut it off,
Yeah.
But we use certain tools, and in F1 right now, they're using biometrics inside their suits, but they still haven't gotten to a point of integrating AI, which can reduce a lot for us. Like right now, I can actually build a car, and I can run it through AI, and I can build it. I can tell you the chassis stress on it. I can tell you which engine. I can change the engines in there. I can run a dynos test on it from AI standpoint and get pretty close to the numbers that I would get from a physical dyno jet, which is something that we test, that we use to test speed and stress on the engine and things like that. We can use AI for suspension by creating a model, and one of the things that we're doing out at LIMC is what we're doing is even on our off-road track, it gives manufacturers the opportunity to run through our programs and the tools that we're building to actually see what the suspension is on a real model track, as opposed to them using, you've seen the commercials where they have the things that bounce up and down, and that's not real model. I can tell you my truck is so beat up from that model, But if I can have a track out there, I can cut down on spending money, on spending testers, buying equipment like that, just by taking that model of our off-road course, running the statistics on it, and the ratios on it, and the actual suspension system on it, set it all up, run it through our program, and it would tell us, hey, this suspension, you need this adjustment on it, you need this to happen, you need this kind of tire, you need this air pressure. That's where we're going, and I want to just piggyback off of Emily, is that it's all about, you guys go everywhere. You can go right here to McKinney, and there's a track in McKinney, there's a track in Crestland, there's a track everywhere. But what they're not doing is they're not doing the testing. They're just running cars. And I call them pop-ups, because they just run a cement, pour some cement, I got $1 million, I'll buy 100 acres, pour some cement and run cars and get my buddies with Lamborghinis to run down. But what if you can actually contribute to the world? What are you contributing to the world except to small? You have to contribute something to the world. AI gives you that opportunity now and it's given us that opportunity. I tell my son, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, but I tell my son all the time that the generation that you guys are in now, and the younger generation, it's a different time. There is no longer this barrier of information. You can Google, you can use AI to create a business plan in 2 minutes. You just tell it what you want and keep tuning it and tuning it. You didn't have to sit down and write like us. That's what I see most manufacturers not getting into and using AI to that degree. So now you have the public questioning, well, this AI is going to take over jobs. No, it's going to enhance jobs because now nobody's getting hurt. Now you don't have to worry about OSHA coming out because you've already ran the models and you're not spending that money in citations and inspectors coming out there, because that's expensive. I just found that out. But coming out and spending money over and over and over, AI cuts that down a lot to where me, a rag to riches guy, can come in, I can build this big, huge facility, and I did it online. I did it straight through AI. And everybody's wondering, how did you get that geeked up? Well, you know what? I did it on AI. I sat there and figured out the models through AI. That's the luxury that we have today in this environment. And I think a lot of small businesses don't see it like Emily sees it. Stefan sees it. Sanjay, he sees it. But we have this model now. We have this tool. It's powerful. Even in its very raw factor right now, it's so powerful that you can go out there, you can leave from this room today and you can go out there and change the world. You can create a business today without any knowledge of that business. Sit down, study AI while you drink. You run AI, it'll tell you everything. Now you seem like an expert, like I do. You know?
And you know what, I think, you know, I'm in, let's see, 3 years ago I turned 50 and I saw AI coming down the pike. I said, I gotta figure this thing out. I gotta get out of this corporate cycle. So I actually got some AI certifications, and then also, you know, last year someone reached out to me about the podcast, and it was a turnkey solution. They're supposed to grow the podcast. I had people saying, yeah, this great content, but it's not growing. So I said, I'm a consultant, and I need to figure this out. So I actually went into ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini. I would test out different things. Actually, basically fired my editing team. I'm on my third editing team. I'm doing thumbnail design. I'm doing keywords, tags, SEO. Now I'm doing GEO, which is the generative engine optimization, AEO, which is the AI stuff. I'm doing automations. I'll even prompt my own animations. If the video editor doesn't create the video, I'll go into a prompt and generate a prompt and create an image and create a video animation that I feel like they didn't capture the essence, right? Yeah. And now I'm getting, like, going the joke about there's all these thousands of lead gen companies that are hitting me on LinkedIn. I try to be polite and actually respond, but you know, I have a notepad and I respond. But now I decided this, I've said that instead of me doing that, I've said I have to focus on revenue generating activities. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every single one of those and put it into an automation and into a sequence. And the reason I do that, because people are reaching out to me. Why don't I say, hey, all I got to say is, hey, I don't require your services. They're so happy I was a nice guy and polite. I said, oh, by the way, I have a podcast. You should check it and subscribe. They're like, oh, well, I'll check it out. So I'm actually turning into an upsell opportunity. Yeah. So that's an idea right there. Just let you guys know. It's like, instead of being cold. And the other thing, too, is we want to get into sales and marketing. One thing I learned is how to be a lead magnet. Like, instead of me doing all the outreach, how do I generate value and content where people are reaching out? At this point in my podcast, I'm not even doing any more reach out on the YouTube version. I have like 3 to 6 month wait list for guests to come onto the show. And so the question is, how do you, I think using AI, how to generate content and value where people are coming to you, and going back to that ICP thing, right? So any thoughts, Emily, on the evolution of GEO, EEO,
I do.
EIO, whatever you want to say. Right?
I will say this, if any of your marketers at your company are still talking about SEO alone, I'm not going to say SEO is dead. What it is that all of the SEO that marketers have been spending copious amounts of money on over the years to try to be showing up, you're going to have to rewrite all of that content, and you're going to have to rewrite it to answer questions. And when you do that, those start to show up in the AI answers, but you still have to physically go push that into the AI. It doesn't just pick up on that because you thought it in your head and you said, I just wrote this really great article. You still have to tag it correctly, but you also have to write for humans. Imagine that. So
and AI lies.
Write it like somebody that's a human is going to read it, and even if the AI is the human that is going to read it, it's going to filter you to the top page. If you go to Google now, you'll notice that at the top of the page, what is it?
AI summary.
AI summary.
Yep.
Did you know that it's caused a phenomenon called the zero-click phenomenon? Because most people, your nice, shiny, beautiful website that you just created, they will never make it there. But the content on your website needs to be in that top summary. So you have to build your website, and you have to have good content, and you have to write it for human. There's all these rules, right? It's really complicated for a small business owner to understand, but you have to be in the AI summary or people won't find you.
I want to just inject something in there also. You two had a great, you're right on point with that. One of the things is integration and collaboration. That's what we're lacking right now in the AI space, is getting the professionals, because they're all older, and getting them to actually input information that is real, factual. She's a CMO and CEO. That information that she can enter into that tool actually could help someone else. And the more information that you input into it, the more information we put in on what we find, or land, or now the county, Navarro County has our LiDAR that they can pull up in AI, and they can see the topography on the land. They can see where water is, which we're fighting for, but they can see where water is. They can see where the aquifers, they can see everything, and they've never even been out there. We're 45 minutes from there, but it's all, and we can do it all online.
Let me ask you one thing. So, because I want to ask Stefan a question. What is the amount of money you're trying to raise?
So I talked to my CFO. No. So anybody out there want to give us a little bit over 1.2 billion, because the numbers just went up because of tariffs.
Okay, so this is the setup for Stefan. So when, whether it's somebody coming out with $120,000 or 1.2 million or 1.2 billion, right? From a CFO perspective, how are you wrapping your head around that, right?
It goes back to the business case.
Yeah.
Very simple. You start with a business case. If you realize you're off track, you reaccess it, you review it, adjust your business case, and move forward. But without a business case, it's money throwing out the window.
One thing I want to say about the last two things, we're kind of running up on time. So the last two things I always cover on the podcast around AI democratization and ethical and responsible AI. And one thing that I said about AI democratization, I don't believe in diversity for diversity's sake. I want to talk to the coolest people that are doing the coolest things, right? And look at the room around here. This is a beautiful audience, right? I mean, amazing people doing amazing stuff, and we got different perspectives here, different backgrounds, and this Black History Month, right? So, just what do you from just the 30-second answer here? You said you're the first and only right now. So what is that journey feeling like for you right now?
Oh, wow. I feel like a rock star because we're no longer chasing investors. Investors are chasing us, and having that ability to say, no, we'll pass on you. The ability for the fact that people are coming up to me, calling me like the smartest guy, and I'm like, no, I'm just a race guy who just got into this, and AI helped me develop this whole thing, and it just feels, I don't know, I wish my grandmother was here, I wish my grandfather was here. He was the first Black owner of a gas station in Deep Ellum. And so I come from that kind of background. He taught me how to build cars and how to work on cars. So right now, I think I'm living in that moment that they would be proud of. But also, I wanted to show them one of the things real quick, the reason why I'm building this is not because of money. It was because I wanted to create a legacy where someone that grew up like me in the poor area of town can point, and no matter what your color is, because we're all broke in some way, but they can see that, hey, stop complaining, stop whining. There's a guy down off of 35 that built this huge facility down there, no money. He just woke up one day and said, I'm going after it, and he went from 1 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock the next morning, he sacrificed. You sacrifice family, you sacrifice time. People don't realize as an entrepreneur, you sacrifice. And I think showing this new generation, especially in our culture, sacrifice is your number one weapon to success.
Yeah, definitely. And then, Emily, from your perspective, you have multiple perspectives coming from that, from a democratization perspective. What do you want to add there?
I like what you said about legacy. I think all of us have been striving to do just that. And we never know when we first start out and our parents are trying to give us advice, go to college, don't go to college, get a certification, don't get a certification, take the risk, take the $10,000 out of your 401k to start a business and you just don't know if you're going to make it or not. The sacrifice part of it, I think, is also getting lost because I definitely have sacrificed a lot in my life to be able to get to where I am, whether it's being in boardrooms where you're the only female, and I don't want to be known for being a female in business. I want to be known for the way that I treated people. I want to be known for the legacy that I made for my child. I want my 7-year-old to be proud of what his mom does and to be able to see me in my element. I take him when I go volunteer in the community because that's the most important thing to me. Right now I'm working with a VC group that is creating AI for good. I sought them out because I want to work in AI that is working for good, not on the other side because there's too many people who are developing AI for bad. So I do want it to be around legacy. I don't want to be known just for a female business owner. I want to be known for the person who built something for good.
Exactly. And Stefan?
I want to encourage you to use AI. The big divide will no longer be poor and rich. It will be AI literate and AI non-literate. AI non-literate, there's a portion who doesn't have access, and there's a portion who doesn't want to learn it. We have to work with these people. If you have your own company, if you're a manager, you have to train your people. Students from university come with all the tool knowledge. Every time I talk with somebody, I learn new tools. We have the expertise. We have to bridge that divide. So I really like what Ben is doing with the AI training, because we have to train our people. And it has to be specific. It cannot be go to the web and take some classes. I have to tell you, where do you stand, where do you want to be, what classes do you need?
Right, and Stefan, I'll ask you, and if you can just, 30 seconds, guys, for ethical and responsible AI, how can we ever build it out ethically and responsibly?
First, again, company point of view, you have to start with a policy, with a guardrail. Define what your people are allowed to do. If you don't define that, how do you want to control it? Secondly, I heard before data is the new gold. I disagree. Gold is always good. Data is a new uranium. It can be good, it can be bad. So we will see an increased activity on the cybersecurity front. We have to prove our systems. We have to reduce risk.
Yep. Emily?
Most companies realize that they have to do that after they had an attack. That's expensive. Reputation is impacted. Mark and Spencer had an attack on their online platform. 6 weeks, no online platform, 55% reduction in EBITDA for 6 months. It's huge.
Yep. So let's do this. Let's do final, I always like to end with final thoughts and encouragement. So there's folks out there that are maybe looking to get into AI, they're building their business or struggling with their business. People say, I got rid of my 9-to-5, but now I'm in it 24/7. When you're 24/7, you're the CEO.
Is there an extra hour, like 25?
Yeah, I turned my 9-to-5, but you're a CEO, CMO, CFO, IT admin, janitor, right?
Yes.
So what's your encouragement to the folks out there?
So with me being my age, I remember my grandparents told me, about computers. And I remember back when computers was first coming out, everybody was so fearful of it. And like, they're bad. That's gonna always be bad. That's the world, that's life. But also now so the computer now is the most useful tool in the household. Everybody has one. Whoa. That was AI generated, by the way. That wasn't real, that was AI generated. But what we have to do is we have to embrace technology. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't think of when they think of me at my age of 59. And I'm praying that I don't look like I'm 59, but when they look at my age of 59 and embracing technology, yeah, it's up to us older cats to embrace that technology and show, hey, computers was once scared, now you're up here in AI, The internet was scary. It was scary at one time, still kind of is. There's going to always be evil. But if we start inputting the good into it, using it for the good, I think we'll outweigh the badness that can come through AI. And like Stefan says, putting protocols into place to where we can weed out some of the things that's not real, fact checking. But my last thing is just don't be afraid to get into it. Don't be afraid, you know, I never knew I could swim until I jumped in the ocean. That's how you got to treat AI.
Cool, thanks. Emily?
Just start. Just start. Pick something, learn it, do it. It's the same thing with certifications. By the time you sit around and you worry about it, because it will wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning once you have an idea, it eats at you, right?
Yes.
Until you do something about it, just do something about it. Learn something, because if you don't get into it now, you will be left behind.
All right, Stefan?
I want to congratulate all of you here online. You did the first step. Go to events, research it online, learn about AI. That's the story. I'm not so much on certifications. I think you have to get your feet wet.
Yes.
Go to events, as I said, go to seminars, research online. A lot of the certifications run behind. You want to be up to date.
Yeah, my advice is if you have a passion, you see a problem, you have domain expertise.
Yep.
Go apply AI to solve that problem.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just iterate. There's too much out there. Don't waste your time on certifications. What I do is I call it AI snacking. I find a problem in my business. I go apply an AI tool for 15 minutes, for an hour, to go solve that problem. That's my advice to you. You don't have to spend 3 hours or 3 weeks or 8 months. Just apply something and do something. So that wraps up our show. Thank you for my amazing guests. What we're going to do is just ask 1 or 2 questions. And so I'll ask from the VIPs, anyone have a question?
I'll volunteer.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to start with Stephanie. Thank you so much. And I love when you put a lot of focus about tooling, that how it's changing. I want to talk a little bit about how we do business is also changing. And that adaptation, because the customers are coming, we're generational, so we have, that aspect is also changing, how we react as an element of trust between, for example, in my household of 4 people, we have different reaction out of a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old and between, my husband and I. So I want to hear your thoughts that from your perspective, when you are solving a future problem for any business, what do you think first? And it's purely a vision question.
I'm always thinking about who it's for and what it solves. If I cannot answer what it solves and who it's for, then you need to go back and you need to recalculate. I like to tell a story of when I first came to the Dallas Metroplex. I was recruited by JCPenney, and I've realized that a lot of people who moved here for JCPenney. But JCPenney at that time knew exactly who their customer was. It was she. It wasn't a age, it wasn't a type, it was she. Because at that time, the person who made all of the buying decisions for the home, for the most part, was the mom in the household. So it didn't matter if we were marketing something for children or beauty products or bath products or even men's shirts. I mean, raise your hand, all of you ladies in the room who dress your husbands or significant others. Yeah, otherwise my husband walks around with holes in his pants. Let's face it, okay? We have a new generation here. But we have to answer that, and they were very, very good at answering that until they deviated from that, and then they got very confused, and then we had the mess that happened at JCPenney, right?
So I love this answer.
Okay.
I absolutely adore it. Which means that over time, we got so discombobulated with
Yes.
data, with so much modern tech that use analytics, and data will tell you the trends and everything. We got so bogged down into it that we lost track.
Yeah, and just remember who you're doing it for. Now, I'm not going to make the case that analytics and the data and the tools that we're using are not valuable, because I still have to answer to a board and a CEO and a CFO and a COO, and we all have to work together to try to create the story of what it is and who it is that we are doing this for. And when you're in funding rounds, you really have to have a very tight story because you're borrowing money from someone else and you need an action. So just remember, those things are valuable, but the people at the end of it is what you still have to focus on.
And to jump in here.
Go ahead and just, well, next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go next.
No, your turn.
This one's actually for all of you guys, just because I kind of constantly am just, every single thing about AI, I'm always feed whatever's going on in news. The security piece is obviously something that's become pretty insane, like the Anthropic just hack of the Mexican government. What do you guys feel is going to be an appropriate sort of level of security monitoring? Is it going to hinder the space at all? Do you think it's going to slow down the innovation by having to put guardrails up?
Well,
And how
this
important
is what I would say, just my short answer. Just like building a house, you got to have a blueprint. It has to be, security has to be designed from the beginning, and you can't wait till, it has to be, you have to design and architect it from the beginning, and it has to be planned. There has to be governance models in place, policies in place, least privilege access, all those things. And we have to be very proactive and not wait for something to happen. I'll keep it short like that, but I'll turn it.
I will say too, I have friends over in Europe who are trying to develop at the speed that we are in the United States, and it's definitely much, much slower because they have certain governance models already in place over there that are standardized. That's why a lot of companies are coming to the United States to try to test out their products because we don't have that yet. But the caveat is we have to lean into our own governance of our own tools, because if we are responsible for something happening to a child because we did not do our due diligence, that's on us.
I'd say like human is the best defense in your company.
Yeah.
But
Let's take one more question, and then over there, Conrad.
Okay. Hey, thank you guys for all the information you guys have shared. How do you guys determine what AI is useful for you guys personally versus what's too much noise, because there's so much AI out there?
Okay, let me get this one real short. I actually just go test it out. So I'll give you a quick example. I have metrics for my YouTube channel. I put it into ChatGPT, Gemini 3, and Claude, and I'll ask it questions, and I see if the results, and believe it or not, it'll lie sometimes. It'll make up results. My one thing is always check and ask it for, okay, give me the actual line that you quoted this from, or give me the actual metric. Because sometimes if you put a screenshot in, it'll look at a cache screenshot, or it may just make up something. So I only care like if it tells the truth and it's providing value to me at the end of the day.
I think you have to look at it and look at AI in that space the way I do. I look at it as a living tool. It's going to always be developing. It's like a book. It's almost like the Bible. It just keeps living. It has different interpretations. It's just going to keep going and going and going. So it's up to us to monitor that and how we use that. I say that we still have to stay in the world of old school research. You still have to go and make sure that that law is the law, even if AI is saying it, because you're going to get different interpretations of that law because AI is living. It's out there and it's building and it's growing into this big thing, but it's still up to us as humans to make sure that we understand how that tool how just the simple answers could interpret or change our interpretation of what's going on in the world. One movie I watched, and I can't remember, it was on one of the Marvel movies, but they used AI before it was even big. They were using AI as the storyline, and they were saying that this guy has created this bad guy who wasn't even a bad guy. But because of AI, they made him like the meanest man in the world. And at the end of the movie, you come to find out he wasn't. It's because it's living. And we have to treat it as a living tool. It's great, it's powerful, but you still got to go back and do your research. You still have to make sure, and that's the hard part, but I think that's the easy part for us to get complacent in, is that we don't want to go back and do that research because it's quick to get that answer. And we run with it. It's the whole soundbite syndrome, where you just grab the sound bite and run.
I want to add something here. For me, it's networking relationships. I go a lot by recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
When I need finance tools, I have CFO circles, I go by recommendations. If I know they say it worked for them, there's a good chance it works for me. If they say stay away from that one, I stay away. I talk with students. I get a lot of new AI tools. I go by recommendations. If they use it, I will not try. Because otherwise, how to differentiate all these 50,000 available applications?
At the end, I think the most important thing in AI is actually your domain expertise, right? It's come back to business at the end.
Yeah.
As you can see here, we don't have any AI scientists here. You have the business expert here. The most important thing in AI, I always say this, AI is 95% business, 5% technologies, right? And I just talked to my customer today, big company, enterprise company, but they said they hire like these Booz Allen guy, came in, PhD level AI, but they don't even know how to maintain it. It's too advanced, and it doesn't work for business. Like a lot of time people don't realize, you build these advanced things that people can't use or can't maintain, at the end, it's worth nothing, right? To the company, CapEx investment is more important than OpEx. A lot of time, if you spend a lot of resource maintaining that model, your company EBITDA decrease. So you better build something that it's easier to maintain. So a lot of people, a lot of these scientists, data engineer, they have no idea about business word. They don't even know what the word EBITDA mean to the business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To all of us, like Stefan said, this year is about execution, about delivering the outcome. People that building stuff, are startup, need to really solve real business problem. Giving your customer that EBITDA that they're looking for, that profit, that sale lead, whatever they want outcome, they don't care about technology. So, again, it's all business at the end.
So I know we want to get to the networking, but anyone have one last question, short question? Go ahead.
Which, Alice?
If y'all keep them short, we'll only have one person answer the question. So.
How do you see new generations? We talked about the season in career. Me as a new founder, multiple companies, serial entrepreneur, now I'm hiring very young people because I can train them my way. Now, I'm facing the truth. These are like the AI generation, quote unquote. Now try to make them look at the source. Try to make them understand the value. So who wants to take on? Okay.
I have had a person say to me twice this week, Emily, why do I need any of the stuff that you recommended? I could do this with an intern in AI. And I said, go do it. Because at the end of the day, you can have those people who are trying to figure out, and it's going to take you 6 months to get to an outcome. Or you find a person who's seasoned, who's been around, and they can guide the team, and they can train them if there's enough time to do so. But you cannot start with an intern in AI.
I've tried it. I'm going to AI agents. I'm building my own AI agents instead. So anyways, that's my answer.
Okay, you guys mentioned that if you have a domain expertise, start now. So I've figured out what my domain expertise is. But my problem is my domain expertise is within the company. I'm really like the engineering manager that helps IV&V, which is integration, verification, and validation. So how do I actually
Have you
do
found
that?
something? Have you found a problem in the world that you're passionate about solving?
Yes,
Then is there a way to apply that domain expertise to that, and that hopefully you can make money out of?
Or solve a problem
Yes,
for
answer
your
that
organization.
So back in the day,
I'll make a quick one. I think it's about quantifying that problem, right? Can you quantify the problem that you see? Is it $10 million problem that you actually see within that domain, right? Like quantifying is the most important thing. Most people said, a lot of startups said, I have a solution. So what are you, exactly? Give me the number that you're
Is
solving.
it 10 million or 10 billion or 10 or $10
exactly,
trillion
right.
problem?
Yeah.
I did the boring stuff under a wall in 2010 that I'm actually applying to it now.
so I want to take a practical answer to that. Is that we've gotten away from everybody is our customer. Even if you work within a company, you have internal customers, you have external customers. I spoke a while back at Comdex, which that was a long time ago, I spoke, and we talked about how the U.S. was going to soon go into a contractual-based employment system. And we saw it come into fruition during COVID. And the people starting now are getting into it with AI and with the tools that we have. We don't need to go into an office. We don't need the big buildings anymore. But we could treat those internal, you have a product, you could treat that internal customer as your customer. So you can still offer that to the company and still become your own, pretty much your own boss at that point.
Good. Thanks, everybody. Again, appreciate you guys all coming here. We went over time, but look, people still want to be here, want to hear more from the speaker. But I think we're going to leave it to the networking time so that you can hang out and get a few more drinks because I'm getting thirsty.
Yeah. So panelists, I want to give a clap to the audience, this amazing audience right here. And so this is the way we're going to do it, folks. So general networking's out there, and the folks that are, signed up for the VIP networking, do a little bit more immersive, are going to stay in here. So, but definitely everyone get some drinks, and then the folks that signed up for the more immersive networking, just stay here, okay? But go ahead and get your drinks. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Don't get up. Yeah, that's right. We can't get up. We can't get up. No, you got to sit down. You got to sit down.
Covered a short time, but okay.
Then we do it. Was it well?
Was it not too high level too? Was it good balance or no?
Well,
okay. Huh? Okay.
Yeah. I just started.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the session?
She just said she loved it. So I was hey, how you doing? I remember your face. How you been doing? I'm all. Woo! I think I'm